What's the first thing that you guys do when you're analyzing deals? Ian, let's go to you first. We'll mix it up.
If we're breaking down a deal, say a wholesaler or someone sent me some sort of OM, my quickest thing I do to tell me if I want to even try and play with this is I go and say, okay, I like the market. I go pull 10 by 10s as quickly as possibly as I can. I pull that, what the square footage rate is, and I go in and just do a quick pressure test on, I think I can get top line revenue here, 90% of that, less 30% expenses. What's the cap rate on that? All right, cap rate seems somewhat close to where I think it'll cash flow. Punch some data in for debt, and then say, you know what, it seems like a deal to me. That takes me all of 10 minutes, sometimes an hour if I'm trying to avoid things, but that's my quickest way of doing it. Yeah, so I'll just go in the market, 10 by 10s are $100. You know, I'm talking about $1 a foot, times that out, $12 a foot on the facility. It's not a clear picture of the weighted average, you know, because we got all 10 by 30s, it's going to jack that up. But at a quick glance, I just like to use the 10 by 10 number to decide if I even want to play the game.
So you're just trying to get a quick idea of if it looks like it's something you're interested in, and then at what point do you start diving in a little bit deeper?
If I get down to the bottom line and I like kind of what the market shows me, like after I do that, I go back and do another comb of the market, what the property looks like, what the cash flow I think it'll be, what's the potential opportunities, and we'll show that afterwards, kind of what mine looks like, but it's very convoluted of what my next thing is.
That's when you're entering a new market. What do you do if it's in the same market you're already in?
Oh, I just go on my management software, figure out what my 10 by 10 is, and I use real-time data to say this is what my expectation is.
Thanks, Ian. Terry?
Yeah, I do something similar to Ian. I mean, I don't die. I get just the rate for the 10 by 10s, plug that into my pro forma, which we'll get into in a little bit later, and look at the market, like how sophisticated is the market, and what am I going to have to realistically do to compete there? I mean, I operate in all simple markets, so the deals I have looked at in more convoluted markets, that's where I'll start to dive deeper into the numbers, you know, if I get close with the seller. So I want to see that and what the product is. You know, if you have a bunch of REITs or regional players, you know, maybe I'm overcomplicating it, but they're going to have marketing spends that I'm not used to having, and I'm going to have to compete on a level for customers, and how do I factor that in? So I just want to see, like, is this something that's going to be an easy lift or something that's maybe a little bit out of my wheelhouse? And then how the number, where the spreads are, the ROIs and the exits, where those numbers are. Like, okay, if it's in a complicated market, probably going to want those numbers to be higher to pad, but just looking at what kind of product I'm going to have to put out to compete.
The follow-up exercise of that is you should always just, you know, I know you take an extra step on a new market, but I like to just underwrite, like when I see broker deals come through, I guess I'm officially getting old. That's what I like to do. Just like, oh, hey, what's this market look like? Do a quick pressure test on it. Oh, all right, well, I know I like that market if something else comes up or something sparks my interest of, I always like to just do quick underwriting whenever I see stuff everywhere.
John, go ahead.
So first thing I'd look at is unit mix. If I have the unit mix, I can underwrite the deal. I do the same thing. I look at 10 by 10s in the market. I've also learned where I'm at in the towns that I'm investing in. If the town is charging $60, $65 for a 10 by 10, I know I can stretch that eventually as long as market demand is there. So, and that's happened a lot where the market is charging 60 to 65. A year later, my street rates are 90 to 95 for 10 by 10.
And you mentioned demand, and it was interesting because we had an offline conversation about this that you wanted to bring into the room. You don't look at square feet in your market.
No, I don't. Every market's different. I mean, I'm in a market where I'm 30 square feet per capita. I'm in another market that is, I think, 9 and is saturated and getting worse.
So what I mean, is it just the occupancy level starts to drop? Is that when it's like, okay, this is saturated?
Yeah.
What do you think drives that in the 30 square foot market?
That's a great question. I think it's income.
I mean, I think there's like 40 of us have that question.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you the answer. It's income.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is income?
I don't know. So I know. Why don't you try to stop me here? So
you said you wanted to have an organic conversation. Yeah, we're having it, bro.
This is great. This is what we're looking for. So the markets where I do better at, the income is without a doubt lower, 100%. Markets where I don't do as well as, where the square foot per capita is lower, it's more white collar, I'd say the medium income's probably 70, 75.
Okay.
I would rephrase that and say my churn is higher in my lower income areas, but my stability of my tenant,
Really?
yeah,
That's different for me.
massive churn. Yo, dude, they're getting evicted. They're tossing their shit in a 5x5, and you're getting auctioned 35 days later.
I think
Or
there's
whatever, you know,
It
like,
depends on how much they're making. If they're making 20K a year, yeah. But if they're making 40 to 45,
yeah.
they're
Well,
storing all their shit in their 10 by 10. They probably have 3 more 10 by 10s.
yeah. I don't know. I mean,
That's how my markets are.
I think the more income there is, the more stability to the property there is, and less churn. It's kind of what I feel.
You're in bigger markets.
Yeah, decent size.